boxing news.
Jab. I'm going to reach. The hook is there when she reaches, Sarah. Nice double jab, Sarah. Nice triple jab, Sarah. Beautiful work. Sarah, look at me. Eight count, Sarah. Look at me. Sarah, look at me. High guard and take a second.
Those were the sights and sounds north of the border in Ottawa yesterday as champions Sarah Bailey and Evelyn Bermudez locked horns. And Evelyn, once again, came out on top, currently 2-0 against Canadian fighters, against Canadian champions. Before yesterday, she traveled to Canada once before for Kim Clavel, who she won a decision against, quite controversially, where this time she took it out of the judges' hands. She stopped Sarah in the first round, dropping her 2 times off the jab and the straight.
It wasn't really a straight, it was more of a jab and a curve. She sort of hooked with the backhand.
It was more of a chopping right hand than a straight right hand. In any event, she was able to drop Sarah Bailey 2 times with that punch, and the second time, you could see that Sarah's equilibrium.
Her balance was off, she was not recovered. If you let the contest go on, she's going to get beat up even more. So the referee waved it off, and now Evelyn Bermudez holds 3 of the 4 major titles at this weight.
2-0 against Canadian champions. Every time she's been up there, she came back with the W. What happens now?
Reflecting on Sarah's first professional loss, I said it ahead of the fight that at 6-0, I don't know that she's ready for something like this, for someone like this. When Evelyn Bermudez fought Kim Clavel, Kim was more experienced then than Sarah is now, and Kim lost. So what are the chances that Sarah would succeed where Kim Clavel failed?
Well, if it's the way you say it is, then why did Sarah even have this fight?
It's a few things. For starters, Sarah's not the youngest fighter. I mean, she's not old in a very general sense, but she's kinda up there for a boxer.
I believe that she is in her early 30s, having debuted as a professional late in the game. That doesn't give her a whole lot of time to develop in tandem with her acquiring that WBA title so early in her professional boxing career. At least she thought she was ready.
Well, if she wasn't ready, how the hell did she get that belt?
Jessica Niri Plata, then unified WBA and WBC champion, was with child. And while she was away on maternity leave, she ended up vacating her 2 alphabet titles, one of which went to Sarah. The other one went to Mexico's own Lourdes Juarez, who Jessica is about to fight to get the green and gold title back. But that's how it happened. The only reason the titles were redistributed was because Jessica was with child. Jessica, who unfortunately miscarried, so now she's back, resuming her boxing career under the MVP banner. MVP signed her.
MVP are promoting her next fight, so you figure that if Jessica wins her old title back, she will then move to challenge Evelyn Bermudez for the other 3 titles at the weight in what would be the inaugural undisputed light flyweight title fight. There's never been one before.
But there could be one very soon, sort of an understated rivalry. Mexico versus Argentina, if Jessica wins.
You know, on the men's side, what you often hear about is Mexico versus Puerto Rico as a rivalry. And at the lower weights, you often hear about Mexico versus Japan. But in the women's game, Mexico versus Argentina is a thing.
It is an established rivalry. And that's what it would come down to in the light flyweight division, whether Jessica wins or Lourdes wins. Whichever one of those 2 champions ends up fighting Evelyn,
I think Jessica's gonna win.
it's going to come down to Mexico versus Argentina in a fantastic fight, a titillating fight that MVP can more than pay for. You figure that if Evelyn was willing to travel all the way up there to Canada for Kim Clavel, for Sarah Bailey, she'd be more than willing to travel to America for Jessica Niri Plata.
And she would probably make more money fighting Jessica than she made fighting them.
Evelyn Bermudez of the Fighting Bermudez sisters, Roxana Bermudez, the more well-known Daniela Bermudez.
And then there is Evelyn, the youngest of the 3.
Proving more and more that boxing is a family business for the Bermudez sisters and adding more and more accomplishments to her CV. The fight between her and who I anticipate will be Jessica Niri Plata is one for the ages, one for the record books, and it will be a firefight because Evelyn is an action fighter, and so is Jessica. This will not be a fight of finesse.
Looking forward to it. Evelyn has held up her end of the bargain and added another trinket to her trophy case. Can Jessica Neri Plata do the same? We'll find out next month.
Any chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
Let's own it. Let's own it. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait for 2026.
Now, why would Floyd Mayweather, at 49 years old, even consider returning to professional boxing after spending years on the exhibition circuit, ahead of what could be, emphasis on could be, his next fight with Mike Tyson?
Am I the only one who found it peculiar that they went ahead and officially announced the fight without a location and without a broadcaster, a platform to show the fight?
Usually when you make an official announcement, you know where the fight is happening, when the fight is happening, and who's going to show it. Whereas with this, they didn't divulge those details, likely because they hoped that in announcing the fight, they could cultivate public interest to then pitch the fight to a major broadcaster, like a Netflix, for example, for a big Netflix bag. You don't think Floyd notices how much money Jake Paul has been making?
His two forays on the Netflix platform, the one he already had with Mike and the one that he's about to have with Gervonta Davis.
I get the impression that the reason they didn't announce a broadcaster for this fight is because they don't have one yet. They will only resort to pay-per-view as a last resort, pay-per-views not selling as much as they used to, and piracy being at an all-time high. The pay-per-view model being abused for so many years, oversaturation in the box office market has rendered it unstable, and what Floyd and the event coordinators are likely angling for is a big guarantee. Not a pay-per-view upside, but a big guarantee from a Netflix.
For a non-pay-per-view, like what Jake Paul is getting, like what Gervonta is getting.
Now, I think that Floyd Mayweather, even though he won't say it, is strapped for cash. To some degree, he needs money. I don't think he staged exhibition after exhibition after exhibition every year since retiring for no reason.
He needs money. The overhead of his lifestyle is expensive. And when you're not generating what you generated with Canelo, with Cotto, with Pacquiao, and everybody else, sooner or later, the money might run out.
Given Floyd Mayweather's extravagant and expensive tastes, it's only a matter of time before the well runs dry, and thus, every single year since his retirement, he's been staging exhibition matches, most of which have flown largely under the radar. The only one that was a blip was the one with Logan Paul.
Nobody bought the rest of them shits. Don Moore, Chalmers, John Gotti 1 and 2.
Must have saw the metrics for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, realizing that Mike Tyson's name still has a lot of marquee value attached to it. More than his.
Mike is more marketable than Floyd, more beloved and more respected than Floyd.
I mean, don't you notice that Floyd was not able to parlay his success from boxing into deals with major brands, major corporations, and sponsorships? He was a villain.
Yeah, but so was Mike.
Yeah, Mike was, but people actually like Mike, in spite of everything. They like Mike a lot more than they like Floyd, and thus, Floyd hopes to use Mike's marquee value.
Yeah, we've been all through that. What about him going pro? Is he seriously thinking about coming back at 49 going on 50 years old?
He might be. I mean, Manny Pacquiao just did it. Manny Pacquiao's, 46, going on 47? And he just did the dance with Mario Barrios. So maybe that has Floyd thinking he can do something similar if Floyd comes back. I mean, it's not to campaign as a junior middleweight against junior middleweights, I don't think, and it's not to fight somebody like a Terrence Crawford, a fight that's gained a lot of traction as a conversation that'll never see the light of day in reality. If Floyd were to come back, you know, it's for guys like Rolly and guys like Mario Barrios.
A far-fetched proposition. What is Floyd going to weigh in the Mike Tyson fight or the Mike Tyson exhibition? And what would he weigh afterwards if he decided to come back, if he decided to come back to professional boxing?
Not everyone is celebrating this news. A Twitter user who goes by the name Pound for Pound said, Floyd is about to come back to boxing and suck all the spotlight and the life right out of the sport, just like the good narcissist he is. You can tell by the way he's smiling.
Now, what I think is that he's strapped for cash, because what is the current state of affairs at Mayweather Promotions. Since Leonard Ellerbe stepped down and Gervonta Davis left him to go do his own thing, what other fighters does Mayweather Promotions promote? What cards are they doing?
Now, what does Floyd have going on to keep a steady stream of revenue coming in now that he's retired as a boxer? Please don't say it's those exhibition matches, since most people don't watch them.
I think he needs money. No, I don't think he's broke the way that me and you might go broke. No, he's got something.
Just not enough that he can fully hang his gloves up. I mean, he's kept a more active schedule of exhibitions than some active boxers.
And now he's entertaining the idea that he might return to the paid ranks, to professional boxing. Why do you think that is? Why would he do that at close to 50 years old? He needs money.
Men's middleweight news per veteran boxing scribe Fernando Sabatini. Is there a fight? Carlos Adamez told me that the unification with Janibek is what's coming next. He's quoted as saying, "We've been chasing it a lot and couldn't quite seal the deal. But the fight is going to happen. We're working to make it the next one. It's almost a done deal," the Dominican stated, but this news is coming to us at a time where Janibek says something else, where Janibek is hinting at a Lara fight.
Erislandy Lara, WBA middleweight champion per Janibek Alimkhanalai's social media. He's the one that said WBC and WBA next, with the Ring Magazine title on the line.
So this is getting confusing. All of this he said, she said. In truth, I like one fight more than the other. I like the Adamez fight more than the Lara fight because, well, Janibek and Adamez are the ones with all the backstory, all the history. They're the ones that have been going back and forth with each other for what feels like 2 years now. The potential fight between them is rumored to be going down as the co-main event of Stevenson versus Lopez next year.
Janibek could end up fighting either guy because the both of them are PBC fighters, and at the helm of this promotion is supposed to be PBC. That's the rumor, that Turkey is paying for everything, but they're going to be the ones promoting it in the tri-state area in New York at the Barclays Center.
If Turkey's paying for everything, why do they need them?
Experience, I'd wager. The PBC have a lot of experience promoting shows in the tri-state area, particularly at the Barclays Center, what used to be their unofficial headquarters. They used to do a lot of fights at the Barclays, and given that Turkey's Times Square show was a massive dud, he likely wants their expertise to do a fight in New York.
In tandem with using several of their fighters, could be Carlos Adamez, it could be Erislandy Lara, but that's why he would do it. That's why he would use them. He'll pay to make it happen, and they'll take care of the rest. I'm okay with either fight, even though I like one more than the other. If Janibek ends up unifying with Lara, I'm okay with that. And if it ends up being Carlos instead, I'm more than okay with that. I think Janibek beats them both.
But as stated, there is some confusion as to who exactly is he going to be fighting next. Is it going to be Lara or is it going to be Carlos?
Men's super middleweight news, Lester Martinez says, "I assure you, I can win a Christian-Mbilli rematch. What is fast becoming a fight of the year candidate based on its aesthetic. I knew it was going to be a firefight from start to finish."
Lester Martinez, in his first public comment since producing Saturday's fight of the night in a brutal draw versus WBC interim champion Christian-Mbilli, said, "It was the opportunity of our lives, and we made the most of it. The WBC has granted Martinez's request for an immediate rematch with fellow unbeaten Mbilli after they engaged in a draw under Martinez's gym mate Terence Crawford's UD win over Canelo Alvarez at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. In an interview on Thursday on ProBox TV's Boxing Scene Today, Martinez told hosts Jimmy Smith, Paulie Malignaggi, and Chris Algieri that training alongside Crawford, 42-0, made his bout against Mbilli, 30-0, a reflection of the preparation. Physically and mentally, it helped me a lot.
Guatemala's top 10 ranked Martinez, 19-0 with one draw, said the accomplishment of getting a draw against the world champion when you're not favored and when hardly anyone knows you, we did something right. The grueling battle was intense, a constant punching inside war in which Martinez landed effective uppercuts and stood toe-to-toe with the Cameroonian-born Canadian who sought to score a knockout, appearing with a face free of swelling. On Thursday, Martinez said, "I'm sore, but I'm calm."
Free of swelling?
Well, that's a testament to what I told you the Sunday morning after the fight. Even though Christian-Mbilli was noticeably busier in the pocket than Lester the Molester, a lot of those punches he was throwing weren't actually getting in, they were getting blocked. Morse Jarman had it 97-93 in his favor. Martinez said, "I felt like a winner. I felt that I won. I was very happy, but not satisfied." He said the bout was trying due to Mbilli's pressure. As the fight goes on, you feel tired, but the desire to win the belt is what kept me going, Martinez said, 29 years old. "My heart and emotion were incredibly strong." Martinez is pushing for the rematch to be a 12-round fight after Saturday's 10-rounder. "Of course I want that. I want to be a champion," he said. "I want to feel like a champion. I assure you, I can do better, and I can really win the rematch."
That was another surprising tidbit in association with that fight, that normally WBC interim title fights are scheduled for 12 rounds, whereas Mbilli versus Martinez was only scheduled for 10.
"Of course I want that. I want to be a champion," he said. "I feel like a champion. I assure you. I can do better, and I can really win the rematch." Moving up from Pro Box TV environment to a stadium show proved exciting and forced Martinez to set aside the environment to remain mentally prepared. "I knew I was walking among greats, a big venue in front of a big crowd. The exposure lifts him in the number 3 contender spot in the WBA and number 4 in the WBC." Asked what he would change in reviewing the bout in hindsight, Martinez agreed that devoting more effort to his effective uppercuts and fighting Mbilli at greater range might have swayed the bout his way. Nevertheless, the entertainment value of the bout was immense. "I could have done a better job," he said. "I wanted people to see who Lester Martinez is, and now they have." So when he says that he can do better in the rematch, I believe him. Not just because he's saying it, but because of the styles of the fighters. Christian Mbilli is a pressure guy. They really don't change much from one fight to the next. So in a rematch situation, he's just gonna do more of the same. Whereas Lester the Molester, who is trained by Bo Mack,
They can come up with an even better plan, a better strategy. Now that they've been in there with Christian and they know what he's all about, they felt his punch, his pressure.
they can make those small adjustments. Maybe you don't engage him as much in the pocket. Maybe you don't hold your feet as much. Maybe you make it a point to take a half step back to give yourself room to throw and really drive those punches, to put something on them. Since you already know Christian is not the kind of fighter that you have to chase, he's gonna come to you. You can do a better job of setting him up.
You can do a better job of keeping space. Instead of just letting him put you on the ropes, you might spin off those ropes. Pivot around Christian Mbilli. Get on his blind side.
Hook off the pivot.
There are adjustments that Lester can make, and especially now knowing how physically taxing the fight was, how draining, there's going to be some emphasis on his cardio, or there should be.
I feel that while Christian Mbilli was the noticeably busier fighter of the two, he wasn't necessarily more effective. He's throwing a lot of punches, but a lot of them aren't getting in. Lester threw the more eye-catching shots.
What looked to be the more damaging shots, too, the harder punches.
Ideal placement for the fight would be on the undercard of the upcoming Stevenson versus Lopez bout set to go down early next year. I'm looking forward to it.